Jags a 6.5 point favorite. Kind of depends on where you go, whether it's 6 or 6.5. Pretty low total, 40. But the Jags offense obviously has been great recently. What do you like here in Titans and Jags on Saturday night?
Way too much, as a matter of fact. Let's start on the Titan side of things, and I love Chig Okonkwo on the over 2.5 receptions. I got that at plus money, and I'm astonished. I'm astounded that the number is this low. I mean, Josh Dobbs came in immediately under center, and he looked one way and one way only. Where is Okonkwo? Let me feed him the football promptly. And he did so with 4 targets, 3 catches. I think most of those came in the first quarter last week. And then Okonkwo pretty much exited stage left after halftime. Only played 25.8% of the snaps in that matchup against the Cowboys, but he's hit the over on 2.5 catches in 5 of his last 6. Generally speaking, he plays around 40 to 45% of the snaps, and a guy that has a big time chunk gain ability. And he had his best game of the season against the Jaguars earlier this year. 6 targets, 5 catches, 45 yards. Jacksonville giving up 4.7 receptions per game, the tight end position. So give me a Okonkwo on that over 2.5 receptions, again, at plus money. Elsewhere in that game, Trevor Lawrence, I think the long blonde locks, which I'm very envious of as a nearly bald man, will be flowing in this game. I love the over on 1.5 passing touchdowns. BetMGM has got the best juice in the business right now. Last checked at minus 130 on that over. It should be really around my minus 160, 170 on that juice. Yeah, he's quarterback 16 in red zone completion percentage. Yeah, he's only thrown for multiple TDs 4 times this season, but the last time he faced the Titans was one of those 4 performances. He had 3 passing touchdowns. We know how woeful the Titans are in that secondary. They've allowed 28 passing touchdowns on the season and 9 passing performances of the multi-TD variety as well. So I think Lawrence, I think Okonkwo, probably the 2 best bets either side of the ball there. And the last one I'll give you guys is Christian Kirk. Some contract incentivization involved in this one. I took the over on the receiving yards. When it opened at 56.5, it's now at 58.5, and I would still play that. It needs 91 yards to get $500,000 in the bank account. And again, you look at the Tennessee Titans, whether he's playing in the slot or outside, they're not stopping anybody. So I like Jacksonville quite a bit in this game, and it's largely because of Lawrence, largely because of Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram. All the passing options should get theirs.
All right, so that is the Jaguars and the Titans. Brad saying that he likes my thought on Darren Waller. We'll do the prop king coming up a little later for the Saturday games. Brad, what else are you targeting here in the Chiefs-Raiders game on Saturday from a prop perspective?
Yeah, I'm shocked that Isaiah Pacheco is still at 10.5 receiving yards. I mean, all this guy does is cash overs in this category. He's done it in 6 straight games. And yeah, he's not run a whole lot of routes any given week because of Jerick McKinnon's involvement, but he's still getting around 8 to 12 routes run, gets a couple of targets a game, and usually this is a single play payday because he's averaging 10.0 yards per reception this season. So, yeah, he only had 1 touch in the first matchup between these 2 squads back in week 5. But given the recency bias and the usage involved, the fact that he always falls forward, it seems like, when he is given some space in the open field as a violent downhill runner, and 2, knowing that Vegas has allowed 6.1 receptions and 51.7 receiving yards per game of the running back position, I'm miffed. I'm vexed. I don't understand at all why this total is as low as it is on 10.5 receiving yards for Pacheco. So I pounded the over on that. And let's chase history, shall we? Patrick Mahomes on a 1-game parlay. I took the highest threshold you can get at BetMGM, which is 370 plus pass yards. And I slapped that together with the Kansas City money line. You get that at plus 300 when you do so. Kansas City obviously has motivations to the number 1 seed, pending what the Buffalo Bills do. They should be able to, handle business as a team, as a collective. But Mahomes needs 430 yards, as you guys know, to break Peyton Manning's single-season passing yards record. And Andy Reid's got that probably first and foremost on his mind, which means Mahomes is going to uncork early and often in this game. So you get the highest threshold at 370. He needs 430. And again, he matched that with Kansas City on the money line. That kind of money motivation, that kind of historical motivation is motivation enough for me to make a wager at plus 300. As I mentioned, get seduced by that juice at BetMGM.